Like most manufacturers, Volvo is heading the way of the EV with cars like the EX30, the EX40 and the EX90. But I find it rather comforting to know that if you want, you can still buy a big petrol bus from them. And this is the latest one. Welcome to the 2025 Volvo XC90. Like rivals from Audi, BMW and Mercedes-Benz, it's got tons of space, tech and comfort, but it doesn't come with the same divisive reputation. Ever since Volvo launched the XC90 in 2002, it's always managed to find the balance between being premium but also likeable. And what I mean by that is that I'm pretty sure you'll find it harder to get out of a side turning in a BMW X5, for example, than you would in this. It's just facts. For this latest incarnation, the XC90 stays on the existing SPA1 platform, but there's been a range of changes both outside and under the skin. So clearly, Volvo have tried to bring the XC90 and the EX90 closer together with their design, and the effect on this is that it's a cleaner, less fussy design. It almost looks smoother all the way around, and also, check out how good it looks without a front plate. It's kind of a shame that you have to put one on and break up the lovely lines. But aside from that, what they've changed on this is there's new front wings, there's a new bonnet with these sculpted bonnet lines going down the side, which looks really cool. There's a revised LED signature, so you've got that Thor's hammer headlamp design, which is very much been a Volvo thing over the last few years. Looks excellent. The grille with the diagonal chrome lines going into each other, that looks really cool. There's also new alloy wheel design as well, you can see that. And there's a new colour as well, mulberry red, which obviously this is not that, but the mulberry red is a kind of nice dark looking red. And actually, another thing they've changed, if we go around to the rear of the car, which is quite a long walk, as you can see, they've darkened the tail lights, which is a very small change. But then it didn't really need to change, did it? Because I think the XC90, even before this facelift and even before it was brought closer in line to the EX90, was still a good looking car as SUVs go, and it still looked contemporary and modern. So yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The cabin also gets a similar treatment. There's a more horizontal dashboard profile using a greater number of textured materials, with two new responsibly produced upholsteries on offer, namely bio-attributed Nordico and recycled premium herringbone weave textile. Yeah. There's also upgraded storage, new blade vent designs and improved ambient lighting. A few other highlights that I want to talk about. The air purification tech is very clever because not only does it clean the air that's coming into the cabin, lots of cars do that, but what you can also do is you can pre-condition the cabin using the Volvo app on your phone so that when you climb into the car, the air has already been cleaned and set to the right temperature, so you're only breathing in the finest quality of oxygen. The sound deadening has also been improved, so not only is there acoustic glass, there's also acoustic foam in the A and the B pillars, just to make sure that you're really keeping that road noise out from the cabin. I like that, that's a good touch. The central infotainment screen is larger, it's 11.2 inches. It's still vertical, just like you had with the pre-facelift XC90, but the graphics have been improved, it's a better quality screen, and it's also supposed to be more responsive. And having had a little play with it here, it's not entirely finished, but it does seem to be very responsive. There's a huge amount of functionality, and it's very well laid out. The graphics and the icons are nice and big, and they're easy to find. So that looks like it will be excellent. I've got to mention the optional Bowers & Wilkins sound system because, as we know on Volvos, it's always exceptional, and this should not be an exception to that. The speakers themselves look absolutely incredible. You can see them dotted all around the cabin, so it's a lovely presentation. And it's also got 4 different listening modes as well, and one of them is called jazz club, but you've also got an individual studio setting, and it just depends how you want to hear the sound, and also probably how many people you've got in the car, because it's not just got to serve yourself, but also potentially 6 more people behind you. And although it's kind of pointless playing it to you because it won't give the same effect, I can tell you that sitting in the car, it will be exceptional. So keep an eye out for that if you ever get a chance to sit in one of these. And then finally, storage space in here. They've worked on that, so the new central cup holders, they've been designed so that they can also take skinny drinks cans as well, because I'm sure you've had this before. You've got a skinny drinks can, whether it be a Red Bull or one of those instant coffee things, which are pretty sickly. But anyway, if you've got one of those and then you put them in the drinks holder, they can fly about because they're designed for bigger cups. Well, not anymore, because this has been specifically designed so that it can take both, which I very much approve of. But yeah, other than that, it's the usual fare of just storage space absolutely everywhere. I mean, the door pockets are huge. There's a space here for your mobile phone with a wireless phone charger. There's space under there, door pockets. Sun visors are absolutely gigantic, so no danger of being blinded. Yeah, it's just absolutely packed with space, as you'd guess from the outside of the vehicle.
Okay, so the changes to the cabin aren't huge, but it must be said that the XC90's interior design and material still feel second to none, and crucially, it's a nice, very relaxing, very luxurious place to sit.
Now, I wouldn't usually climb into the back of a vehicle for a preview video like this one, but because it's an XC90, it's a big bus, I need to make sure that there's still just as much room as there was before the facelift. And the good news is that, well, there is. It is still humongous back here. You can see how much headroom I've got, even with the massive panoramic roof, which is absolutely awesome. I've still got loads of room there. I've got tons of knee room, blessed with foot room as well. That's excellent. And then a couple of USB-C charging points. I've got heated seats on the outer seats. I've got climate control. I've got the speaker system, the optional speaker system. I've got a blind, lots of storage space, and just really good material quality. So it feels special back here, and there's also still a huge amount of room. The one thing that I would say is that if you're sitting in this middle seat here, you will notice that there is still a central tunnel, which feels a bit strange now, because obviously EVs don't tend to have that tunnel because there's nothing in the middle there. But because this is a combustion powered vehicle with a transmission, it's got that big chunk, and it means that your feet are a little bit squished. So just bear that in mind. But of course, if you don't want to sit in the middle seat, then you do have options, because you can get the XC90 in 5, 6 and 7 seat configuration. And if we climb into the back, now obviously you wouldn't usually do it this way, you'd actually walk around and get in through there like a sensible person, but it can be done effortlessly, as you can see right now. I'm very flexible. And then we pull the lever, and now obviously you'd rather sit in the first or the second row, but if you don't have a choice, then this is definitely a perfectly acceptable place to be, and it's a lot better than getting the bus, because I've got just about enough knee room, even with this seat moved back. The headroom is a little bit tight, but I can still sit relatively upright. The seat's comfortable. I've got a cup holder. I've got some storage space, and I've also got a nice view of what's going forwards, and there's still a bit of boot space back there. You could get a couple of carry-on bags in the boot, no problem at all, even with 7 people on board, which I think is very impressive.
The new XC90 will be available with 3 powertrains. The T8 plug-in hybrid uses a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol teamed with a 15 kWh battery, delivering an all-electric range of around 44 miles and a 0 to 62 mile an hour time of just 5.4 seconds. Meanwhile, the B5 and B6 variants are petrol only, with 181 brake horsepower and 217 brake horsepower respectively. Volvo's also upgraded the suspension with double wishbone at the front and a new integral link setup at the rear to help with stability and traction while towing. The standard non-air setup also now gets frequency selective damping for improved ride comfort. Order books for the new XC90 are open now, with production starting later in 2024. We haven't had a confirmed price tag yet, but expect it to increase slightly from pre-facelift versions. So, Do you think that Volvo has done enough to keep the XC90 fresh? Let us know in the comments section below.